I was overjoyed and perplexed when the Christmas of 1986 rolled around. I loved the holidays, and I really did. I was overjoyed because under the tree-nora, it's what my folks called our Christmas tree / menorah combination. There was a stack of Ayn Rand paperbacks, a 2-button tan corduroy suit with brown leather elbow patches, one of those floppy-eared red plaid hats with a fur lining, a Richard Harris cassette, and a set of dulcimer strings. I was perplexed because also under the tree-nora lay a Nintendo Entertainment System. I have no idea why I was now in possession of a video game system, and neither did my parents. I think it's the thing everyone was getting for their adolescent kids, and it sounded like something a boy with no friends might like. And you know what? I loved it. I was terrible at it, but it was so fantastic I didn't care. We spent all night playing Mario Brothers, with no clue what we were doing. Half the time we were screaming with laughter, and the other half we were shrieking in horror for our eventual digital fate. My father would jump and yell, and my mother would snicker and tell him to calm down. He was doing something wrong for sure. All of us would gaze in wonder when a new 8-bit ghoul or unidentifiable character would appear, like witnessing life for the first time as an outsider. My father and I took turns mashing the buttons and keys on the controller until we invariably got eaten by a mysterious ghoul or fell into an endless pit of despair, not to mention sore fingers and blisters from the totally non-ergonomically designed controllers. My mother sat on the sofa in her nightgown and read the owner's manual and a direction booklet for the video game cartridges and lectured us on our strategy. She was deliberate and studied. She never rushed anything and took steps to ensure relative success, but we didn't mind our virtual fate. It seemed appropriate enough. My mother didn't understand it, though. She wasn't Jewish like we were. We all took turns playing the games that came with the system. My mother was the best of the three of us at all games except Duck Hunt. You see, I ruled the universe at Duck Hunt. I figured out I could get right up close to the television set and shoot the duck before they even left the ground. Seemed fair. She said it was cheap, but she didn't understand. And I suppose I didn't understand. After all, half of me killed her savior, who was also half my savior, so what kind of person was I to judge anyway? It was a great gift. I was terrible at it, but for the first time in my life, I realized that I was actively participating in a fun activity with my friends. Albeit still indoors, but Long Island is cold and snowy in December. I instantly understood what the world was about and how the rest of my life would turn out. Just like that, I had figured it out. Fun with friends and loved ones around a television playing an 8-bit video game. The world couldn't get any more complicated than that, and it was a good thing I figured it out that night. My parents were killed a week later in a car accident on their way home from a New Year's party somewhere in the city. I don't know where exactly. There was some snow and some ice, and something about an overly cheered city snowplow driver. I wasn't aware of that now, but I know it now. An embarrassing revelation to make now, but I was at home, banging on the buttons of Super Mario Brothers, and they didn't come back. I wasn't worried, of course. Bad things don't happen to 10-year-old hippie snob children with one Jew parent and one Catholic parent 2 weeks after Christmas / Hanukkah, who just figured out how the world works and was planning on taking it over after the holidays calmed down. It's fine, though, because we never really celebrated Hanukkah, you know. We weren't really that Jewish. And even if we were, Hanukkah's just a pain in the ass. My mother liked to remind me of that, and the fact that it's not really even a terribly important holiday on the Jewish calendar. But as it turns out, bad things do in fact happen to 10-year-old hippie snob children, even if they don't have one Jew parent and one Catholic parent. That's who bad things happen to. From that moment on, my life has been one less perfect day after another, comparatively speaking, you know, because I had figured it all out. I had squared the universe, solved the Rubik's Cube. I had friends, and we liked to play video games and laugh and drink cocoa and sit on the sofa with a blanket and look at our tree-nora with the lights twinkling in the dark living room. After that, I realized that there were people who had more than one child. They're called brothers and sisters, and they were mean to each other, and to me. And there were public schools, where Maybe you couldn't play the bassoon in history class. The classes were in a room, inside a building, not just when it rained or snowed. Some people even got sick and died. Nobody I had ever known had died except on New Year's Eve in car crashes in the city. In general, people got meaner, and I met honest-to-goodness snobs, and genuine racists, and people who didn't like me just because I was an aloof 10-year-old hippie snob child with one dead Jew parent and one dead Catholic parent. What did they know anyway? Nothing. Children aren't even really people. They don't know anything. They haven't done anything. They are cute and sometimes say funny things, but possessing those qualities certainly doesn't warrant them the unrelenting adoration they receive. Plus, children smell funny and are almost always covered in dirt, snot, or jam. And they poop themselves quite regularly. They do. Even if they are 35-year-old children. My point is, I figured the world out in one night, one instant. I figured it all out. I understood happiness and love and everything that I needed to exist in the universe. It was in one small little corner of Long Island, New York, a tiny speck of dirt in an infinite macrocosm. And I've spent the better part of the last quarter century trying to live up to it. My folks were great. And I think there is a funny irony in the gifts they gave me, both tangible and not. I have played Super Mario Bros. On the Nintendo Entertainment System every day since December 1986, and I'm no better at it than I was that Christmas night. But I keep playing, you know? Because maybe someday, I'm going to beat that level. Maybe even one day beat the game and get damn close. What a happy coincidence that would be. But for now, I stick to mashing around the buttons and keys until something good happens, or until I get attacked by a mysterious ghoul. Either way, nobody else is like me. Not even a little bit.